Have you ever been staring at your phone, trying to find a specific building, and you watch your little blue GPS dot just jump wildly across the street, even though you haven't moved an inch? Yeah, we've all been there. It's universally frustrating, but now imagine you aren't a person holding a phone. Imagine you're a massive, autonomous tractor trying to plant seeds in mathematically perfect rows, or a drone trying to land on a tiny, specific target. Suddenly, that jumping blue dot isn't just annoying, it's a literal disaster. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're exploring an incredible solution to this exact problem: RTK GNSS. It's the technology that takes our sloppy, wandering satellite data and transforms it into absolute, centimeter-level precision. So, let's get right into it.
Here is a quick look at our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the limits of normal GPS, enter RTK, how RTK actually works, sending the correction data, some real-world RTK applications, and finally, the reality of deployment.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the limits of normal GPS.
So, when you pull up a map on your smartphone, normal GPS gives you an error margin of about 2 to 5 meters. Now, if you're just trying to navigate to a local coffee shop, 2 to 5 meters of slop? Totally fine. You're going to see the coffee shop with your own eyes once you get close anyway. But think about professional applications for a second. If you're a robotic tractor trying to follow the exact same path through a field every single day so you don't crush the crops, 2 meters of error is completely unacceptable. Or, if you're a surveyor trying to legally mark a property boundary, being off by a full meter could lead to massive lawsuits. We need something way better.
Which leads us to ask, why is normal GPS so inherently inaccurate in the first place? Well, think about the epic journey a signal takes from a satellite all the way in space down to your device. As that signal travels, it actually gets slowed down and delayed by our atmosphere, specifically the ionosphere and troposphere. Plus, the satellites themselves can have these tiny clock or orbit errors. And then, once the signal finally reaches Earth, it gets bounced around. It reflects off glass buildings or thick trees before it finally hits your receiver. By the time your device calculates all of this messy, delayed data, you end up with that massive meter-level inaccuracy.
And that brings us to Section 2. Enter RTK, centimeter-level precision.
The crucial point is right here in this definition for real-time kinematic, or RTK. Now notice that RTK is not some brand new system of secret, highly advanced satellites, not at all. Instead, it's a really ingenious correction technique applied to existing satellite data. You'll hear professionals use the term GNSS, Global Navigation Satellite System, because it utilizes multiple constellations like the US's GPS, Europe's Galileo, and so on. RTK takes all of that GNSS data and pairs it with real-time corrections to radically improve your known position.
And this captures the massive leap in capability we're talking about. Look at normal GPS with its sloppy meter-level error. Then look at RTK GNSS with centimeter-level error. We are literally moving from vague approximations to pinpoint precision. It is the exact difference between knowing you're roughly somewhere in a room versus knowing you are standing on a specific tile on the floor.
So, moving on to Section 3, how does RTK actually work?
Let's look at how the data actually flows. An RTK system has 2 main parts: a stationary base station and a moving rover, which could be a drone, a tractor, whatever. The satellites in space are sending their signals down to both of them at the exact same time. Now, here's the absolute genius part. The base station is firmly planted on the ground, and it already knows its exact, absolute fixed location. Because it knows where it actually is, it can look at the sloppy satellite data coming in, calculate exactly how distorted that signal is at that precise moment, and then whisper those real-time corrections over to the moving rover. The rover then takes its own sloppy satellite data, applies the base's corrections, and boom! Suddenly, it calculates a flawless centimeter-level position.
When operators are out in the field running these systems, they're obsessively monitoring their screens for these specific positioning statuses. If you see single, well, you're just using normal satellite data. You're stuck in the meters. If you see float, it means you're getting corrections, but the mathematical ambiguity hasn't fully resolved yet. You're getting closer, maybe decimeter level, but not quite there. But fix, that is the holy grail. Getting an RTK fix means the math is completely locked in and you are operating with absolute centimeter accuracy. For serious high-accuracy work, fix is the ultimate prize.
There is a bit of a catch, though, and it's called the baseline. This is the physical distance between your fixed base station and your moving rover. And this distance is super critical, because the whole trick relies on the base and the rover experiencing the exact same atmospheric errors. If your rover wanders miles and miles away from the base station, they're just not looking through the same slice of the atmosphere anymore. The correction data stops matching up, and as a result, your accuracy just plummets.
Which brings us right to Section 4, sending the correction data.
Traditionally, to send these corrections, you'd use a local radio link. But today, we have something called NTRIP. That stands for Networked Transport of RTCM via Internet Protocol. Try saying that 5 times fast. Simply put, instead of dealing with limited-range radio antennas, NTRIP just uses the internet. So, like your standard mobile cellular data or a Wi-Fi network, it uses that to deliver those vital corrections straight to your rover.
Out in the field, engineers face a really classic trade-off here. On one hand, setting up your own base station requires buying extra hardware and spending time setting it up perfectly on a tripod. But it gives you total control, and crucially, it works completely offline using local radios. That's absolutely perfect for a remote farm or a deep woods construction site. On the other hand, using an NTRIP service offers just pure convenience. You basically just pay a subscription, connect your rover to mobile internet, and start working instantly without managing your own base station. But, and this is a big but, if your cellular data drops out, your RTK corrections die instantly. So it's this eternal battle, total control versus ultimate convenience.
Let's transition from networking theory to the physical world in Section 5, Real-World RTK Applications.
When you actually give machines the ability to know their location down to a single centimeter, amazing things happen. In precision agriculture, giant tractors basically drive themselves in mathematically perfect lines. They ensure they never overlap their paths, which saves massive amounts of money on wasted seeds and fuel. In surveying, land boundaries are drawn with indisputable accuracy. For drones, it means a quadcopter can map an entire construction site and then autonomously land perfectly dead center on a tiny charging pad. Autonomous robots use it to navigate complex outdoor environments. And heavy construction excavators use it to know exactly how deep their bucket is digging, without anyone having to physically jump into the trench with a tape measure. It's really incredible.
All right, Section 6, the reality of deployment.
Look, RTK is exceptionally powerful, but I cannot stress this enough. It is definitely not magic. In fact, it completely fails in several very common scenarios. Because it still ultimately relies on faint satellite signals from space, you absolutely must have a clear view of the sky. If you take an RTK rover indoors, it dies. If you drive under a dense canopy of trees, you lose your fix. If you're operating in an urban canyon surrounded by tall skyscrapers, the satellite signals bounce off the glass and metal, causing multipath reflections that instantly ruin your highly precise math. Bottom line, RTK demands open skies to work properly.
To really highlight that reality, just contrast these two setups. A bad setup is a classic novice mistake. It's taking a cheap GNSS antenna, tossing it inside a metal equipment box on a robot, pairing it with a flaky cell phone connection, and just expecting centimeter accuracy. I'm telling you, it's going to be an absolute nightmare. A good setup, on the other hand, requires meticulous engineering rigor. It means placing a high-quality antenna way up high with an unobstructed 360-degree view of the sky on a perfectly stable mount. You need rock-solid communication links and exact, documented coordinate datums. Maintaining an RTK fix is a very active, ongoing effort.
Which leads us to our final point today, and honestly, the most important question you should ask yourself after taking in all of this information. Yes, RTK is incredibly powerful, but do you truly need centimeters? Because adding RTK to a project adds significant financial cost, infrastructure complexity, power consumption, and potential failure points. If you're building a smart tractor or a surveying drone, yeah, absolutely, RTK is entirely non-negotiable. But if you're just building a basic tracker to know roughly which parking lot your delivery truck is in, then honestly, that standard jumping blue dot on meter-level GPS was actually good enough for your specific project all along. Because knowing when not to use RTK is just as important as knowing how it works. Think about it.